So, looking at The Green Knight, starring Dave Patel and Alicia Vikander. It's also got some supporting roles from Sean Harris and Kate Dickie, who play King Arthur and Guinevere. Okay, this has been a divisive film, as far as I can see reading about it online. Among people like myself who were really looking forward to seeing this film since viewing the first trailer over a year ago. It's been on my radar for a while, of films I was really looking forward to. It's produced by A24, the studio who specialised in making art house horror movies like Midsommar and Hereditary. Okay, the trailer made this movie look like it was going to be an existential horror based on Arthurian legend with a blend of dark fantasy and esoteric themes interwoven into the film's visuals and narrative. Okay, the critics, they're hailing it as a masterpiece, but the general consensus from audiences is that they didn't think the film was very good, and many went as far as saying it was a complete waste of time. I was disappointed by the film on my first viewing. I, I think on a second viewing, without the weight of preconception or expectation, uh, the film improved on a second viewing. I think the film starts off well. It's clearly a beautiful film. It's well shot and it has interesting camera work. It's got excellent production values across the board, with a stunning use of locations that were filmed in Ireland. And I really loved the costume design and the sound design and the music. They were all brilliant. Even I'm still thinking about the film a few days after watching it the second time. I mean, it has some really memorable scenes. The entry of the Green Knight into the court of King Arthur, and the Christmas Day challenge. I thought was really well done. I think the Green Knight's character design is fantastic. There's a memorable and interesting monologue about the colour green, which is delivered by one of Alicia Vikander's characters, which I thought was really thought-provoking. I liked it. The cast mostly do a great job. Dave Patel, he's great in this role as Gavin. I know some people say Gawain, but I think in Welsh it's pronounced Gavin. His performance, it's faultless. And the film does tackle interesting themes about honour and mortality. So why the hell was I disappointed in this film? Like a lot of other viewers, when it's got so many great things going for it. First, I think the trailer, a big reason I was disappointed in the film was because the trailer sells you a different kind of film to the one you actually get. After seeing the trailer, I was expecting something along the lines of, being somewhere between Pan's Labyrinth and Excalibur. There is a similarity between the design of the fawn in Pan's Labyrinth, which was done by Guillermo del Toro, and the Green Knight. I thought there would be, some action or fight scenes in the film. I wasn't expecting Lord of the Rings. I wasn't expecting Game of Thrones. I've seen other films from A24. I know what to expect. It's like, they specialise in kind of art house horror films. They're kind of they're B movies in the sense that they're middle budget production movies. They don't have like lots of money to spend on elaborate special effects or fight scenes. But even then, I was expecting more dark fantasy elements and creatures to be involved in this, in this adaptation of the story. I was expecting more from it in general. And I think the trailer, it really does sell you a different kind of film to the one you actually get. So David Lowry, the director, okay, he's given us, a beautiful looking film, but I thought the pacing of the story was very slow, and the middle part of the movie, the story really drags in places. He's one of these directors. He seems to be emotionally distant from the characters of the story he's telling. So because of that, I struggle to engage with the story and with the characters. I also found some of some of the performances, particularly by the supporting actors, to be over the top in certain scenes. Sam Harris stands out in particular. I found his performance jarring at times because he talks in these kind of whispers with this deep, low voice, which kind of drove me insane. Yeah, you have to go to the place, young Gavin. It's a little bit like that, and it kind of just drove me bonkers every time he came on screen. I think the director's intention was to create a film that was a deep meditation on mortality, and what was supposed to be, profound, actually ended up coming across to the audience, to people like myself. It's pretentious. It reminded me of the other A24 films in the catalogue, like Midsummer and Hereditary by Ari Aster. And to a certain extent, it reminded me a lot of the films of James Gray, who directed Ad Astra and The Lost City of Z, or The Lost City of Z, whatever way you want to do it. There's also kind of like a lot of shades of Darren Aronofsky's The Fountain in this film as well, which are all movies which, I really enjoyed, but, I had issues with those movies. And one of the points I'd like to kind of make here is like, a lot of these modern filmmakers, this new generation of filmmakers, all of their films seem to have similar issues, or I seem to have similar issues with their movies. It's clear that these filmmakers, they're heavily influenced by the filmmakers from the late 60s and early 70s, such as Stanley Kubrick, Werner Herzog, Terrence Malick, Francis Ford Coppola, just to name a few, but they're the ones that, kind of stand out. And to a certain extent, like those films, the films they make are very self-indulgent and pretentious in a way that I didn't really find with the films that they were inspired by. I didn't think that 2001 or Barry Lyndon was pretentious. I didn't find Argyll Rafa God or Fitzcarraldo pretentious or indulgent in the same way that I find these new films. Francis Ford Coppola with like The Godfather and Apocalypse Now. I didn't have this sort of same negativity towards films like The New World or The Thin Red Line by Terrence Malick. I didn't find him to be this kind of slog in the same way that these new filmmakers' films are. Like when I saw Ad Astra and Lost City of Z, there was so much I loved about those movies. There was so much great stuff going on in there. But, The Green Knight, there's a great movie in there, but it's as if the director self-sabotages the movie by being a little too self-indulgent and a little oversensitive with the material. These guys really need to stop whispering in their scenes. Brad Pitt does it in Ad Astra, and I find it really distracting. There's a bit of that in The Lost City of Z, and it's here in The Green Knight. It's this kind of, I'm a troubled, internally conflicted man, but, they really need to stop doing it because it's really annoying. I was doing that for a few seconds, and I was annoying myself. So yeah, the film it's good. It's okay, It's got some great stuff in it, but it should have been great. So that's all I've got for today. Thanks for listening to me, and I'll see you again soon.